What's up, you guys? All right. Let you guys pile in here. So today we are going to be going over the rest of the custom 3 scene videos. So I'm just gonna get right into it, and we'll finish these up today. I was going to the reels. Let's see, the animation reels. We might get them to them today. I have to go help my father-in-law set up a little, like, a tent for a wedding that's happening this weekend. And I have to go there after class. So we'll see. Let me see how many reels are put in here. First drafts. Okay, we have 4. So if we can get to those 4, we will. But let's just kind of jump in here, and we will start with Alexandria's custom 3 scene animation. All right, let's play it here.
Red pandas are adorable small creatures which are native to the eastern Himalayas and southwestern China. They are primarily herbivores, eating mainly bamboo. These creatures are known for their striking reddish-brown coat and bushy tail, which they are often seen hiding their face in.
Aww. So very cute. I love the ending here.
Red pandas are adorable small creatures.
This looks good. I think that the tail animation in most of this can be updated. So, and you can use the puppet pin tool in order to do that. So, for example, let's say I have let's create a new composition here. And I have a stronger example on the, and which one is that one in? So this one. In our module of the custom 3 scene animation on in Canvas. If you go to this one right here, we talk about using the puppet pin tool in more of like an extended way, and I think that's going to look a lot better than this this technique here, where it's like, this one's fine. What you need to do though is you need to move these up a little bit more so we're not seeing the joint, right? So you might have to just overlap these a little bit more, especially this leg, maybe the front ones when I play it. Let me see these. Good try on the walk cycle for the first time. The walk cycle, I think it doesn't look right, and it's not going to on the first try. I commend the effort, though. It is not that easy. And we haven't really gone over, like, when you have a quadruped, which legs are on the ground at the same time. And so that's why this is so complex, right? So maybe what I would do here is just having the panda standing still, and maybe lifts one leg to, like, lick his paw or something like that. Or maybe he's sitting. But, this unfortunately just doesn't work at the moment for the custom 3 scene. And if you're showing this off to clients, you want it to be the most polished work. And so I would revisit this later after learning a little bit more about animation. But at this moment, I think that this is a little too complicated. But I do think that you could do two arms, like maybe he's digging, or maybe he's like eating some kind of food or something like that, and I think you could handle that a little bit more. But the walk doesn't really look
Eastern Himalayas of southwestern China.
like a walk cycle. There's just something a little off on it. And then with the tail, again, like I was saying with the puppet pin tool, so what I would do is I would let's create a long shape. So like, let's say this is the tail, and you've got I'm going to move this. Well, first of all, let's change the color here. I don't know, to like orange. Perfect. I can see that. And then we're going to move the anchor point up here, right? And this would be attached to the body. But the puppet pin tool is going to be more of your friend in this case, instead of having separate segmented parts out for the tail. And what you would do is you would come in here and I would click along the tail and add, of course, I would take more time doing this. And I would add these pins. And if you type in pin in the search bar on that layer, you get all of these puppet pin types, right? These little pins. These are exactly what I put on the tail. And what you have to do is you would have to move forward in time, and then you select each one of these and then you bend them. And notice that there's like animation paths along them, right? And so this looks a little bit more like a tail bend than what it looks like when they're segmented out, kind of like you have it. And so I'm just going to hit U on my keyboard, and I'm going to see all of these. There we go. Probably paste this back here. Ooh, can I do this? Yeah, it worked like that. So you get kind of like this motion happening like this more than the rigging style. I think this is going to look a lot better on the tail. And so I would definitely watch that tutorial on the module like I was showing you, and you'll have a much better outcome with that. As far as the beginning of this though, I can still see him right here. So you need to fix that so he's like fully off screen.
Red pandas are adorable small creatures.
And I think there should be something in the background here, because what's happening is all of a sudden this scene just pops on. There's no real transition to it. So I think you need to have a transition from this scene to this scene instead of just like this happening. This looks more of like a mistake. And then I would add like something to the background here. Maybe some red pandas. You said it says China, so maybe you add some bamboo, like a bunch of bamboo in the background. Just some kind of like background here so it's not all white. If we move forward here,
Eastern Himalayas of southwestern China.
And I would like to see maybe a couple more icons scaling on.
They are primarily herbivores.
This is very cute. So you could have like a similar background like this in the first one. What I would like to see though here is maybe some animation of these leaves, right? So maybe the leaves are just kind of waving a little bit. Maybe there's a couple leaves that follow a path that are blowing in the wind in the background. But this is really cool. This is like the level of detail and stuff that I would like to see in the rest of it. Plus the styles really don't match. I like this style more than the first two scenes. I think the first two need the most work on them. And so I would definitely keep something like this. Very cute, right? Looks like its little hands are moving up and he's eating the bamboo. And this is really cute. I think just adding a few more little detailed animations would be cool.
These creatures are known for.
And then if you're going to do a fade, you want to make sure that the fade is a little bit faster. Right now what's happening is there's like a white frame, a couple white frames in between. And so you want to make sure that the fade is appropriate. So you're trimming, if let's say for some reason this one, so if I split this in half and move this over here, and I wanted this color to be, let's change the color of this one to like, I don't know, green. Okay, so I wanted to fade from this scene on the bottom to the scene on the top. You have to make sure if you're using opacity, you have to make sure that the opacity matches up. And then you also have to make sure that you're not having it cut off, the layer cut off, right? So let's say I would have this one. I want this one to fade. I want it to go from blue to green, right? So I'd start at 0 on this green layer, the blue layer. I'd start at 100. I'd move several frames ahead, and I'd switch this. 100, 0, right? They are completely lined up. So when I play this, it's just going to switch color. Now, what could be happening with yours is that the layer is cut short in between, and so you're getting like this weird flashing happening like this, right? Because all of a sudden it's this scene is cut short and it's no longer there underneath this blue, and so it's not like a smooth fade transition. So you definitely need to fix that.
These creatures are known for
And
their
then this
spiky
would be very beneficial with that puppet pin tool.
reddish brown coat and bushy tail, which they are often seen hiding their face in.
Oh, that's very cute though. Yeah, so a really good start. I would make these changes before the final, before you submit this for your final, right? I have not reviewed yours yet, Angel, but I will review yours next if you would like, since you're in the live stream. How you doing today? Submit that. All right, let's go to yours, Angel. I'm doing good. Just busy with everything. Let me, that one is there. Angel, yours was really cool, by the way. And we're going to go over that. I just need to delete this one. Let me find yours, Angel. Right here. Perfect. What's up, Aaron? I'm doing good. Aaron, we'll go over yours next if you want to, too. Because I have yours right here. Perfect. All right, Angel, let's watch this.
Giraffes are the world's tallest land animals on Earth, reaching up to 18 feet tall. Giraffes use their incredible height and their very long, flexible tongue to grasp onto leaves from trees.
I love this.
Giraffes are known to be social creatures, and they will form a herd called a tower.
So good. Some solid stuff, Angel. I can see all of the work that you put into this, right? Because it wasn't, it was, you know, a tight time frame, and you did that, and then like asking if you could have more of like a cartoonish look to it. And like I said before, when I saw it quickly, you carried that style throughout the entire video really well. And it's just, it's so cool throughout the entire thing. I think did you make those changes that I had said maybe in the beginning? Let's play it.
Giraffes are the world's tallest land animals on Earth.
First of all, good job with like the introduction and having the giraffe starting off as a, like, because I saw what you did. You masked the giraffe right here, but then you scaled and changed the position of the actual composition to transition into the next one. And that's very smart thinking. That's exactly what I want you guys to do.
Tallest land animals on Earth.
This looks
reaching up to
great.
18 feet tall.
I think that you have the ears animated, which are really cool. Like
Land animals on Earth reaching up to 18 feet tall.
like you changed the timing of the ear twitches, so they weren't. They're not exactly the same from one twitch to the next twitch, and you reuse that throughout, but that is okay. And I love the tail, like the way the tail's moving, the head's moving. You've got really good rigging happening here.
Tall. Giraffes use
The
their
music and the voiceover don't compete with each other.
incredible height and their very long, flexible tongue.
I would say on this scene, what I could see you do is maybe when the tongue goes back, maybe a leaf comes back with it, or like a little bundle of leaves. So you could draw another little bundle here that the tongue kind of disappears under, and when the tongue goes to carry it back, you just have that that little bundle following it,
Grasp onto leaves from trees.
which I
Giraffes
think
are
would
known
be
to
cool.
Social creatures, and they
This is great. And the only other thing I think I told you to do is to change the background color so they don't
called a tower.
compete with this yellow color of the body, because I think this is really cool. And I love how you had them like meeting up with each other and kind of like saying hello. You've got this them shaking their heads at the same time. You've got this one rearing up on its legs. And you did just a great job of really animating here, like showing a walk cycle, thinking about how a giraffe's head and neck move at the same time, because the neck and the head move differently than a lot of other creatures, maybe horses, deer, kind of, what do they call the hoofed, like not bovine, those are cows, but you understand what I'm saying. And you took that and you kind of studied it and you did good with it. And I think this looks really awesome. Maybe motion blur. That's the only other thing I would do. So changing the color, adding motion blur to like their ears and their tails, their heads when they're moving, and then that little bushel right here. But this is beautifully done. I'm very impressed with it. Really good work, Angel, especially for a first draft. You should be proud of yourself for all that work you put in there. And that way now, if you want to, you can stay. If you want to, you can head out after I review yours, and then you can start working on it if you want to. Either way. Erin, I've got yours here. I'm excited to watch yours. Is about the petrified wood. Let me see. Let's play this here.
What is petrified wood, and how did it get there? It started millions of years ago when a tree...
I think, Erin, yours... Do you want to submit the other one? Because I thought I saw one today that had...
What is petrified wood?
Yeah, submit the other one to me, Erin, and that way I can grade it appropriately, because I saw that you had animation on that. So if you want to just send it to my email and let me know in the chat when you send it, and I'll download it, and then we can review it for you. All right, let's go to Maya's. All right.
Stuck on where to start with your first D&D character? First, you choose your race off of your favorite fantasy theme. Then, choose a class that fits your favorite video game play style.
Okay, this is cool. I think that overall it's too fast. I like the style of this. I think the background of this first one could be a little bit different colored to not really combat with the pants of the... yeah, you can put that in the chat for me, Erin, and that would be fine. That would be great. And then we'll review it after Maya's. So I think this is cool. I think that the characters could maybe have faces on them instead of faceless characters.
Stuck on where to start with your first D&D character?
This one, stuck on when to start with your first D&D character. Maybe a bunch of question marks jump out from behind their head.
First, you choose your race.
And then there could be like a nice pause in between this section where the transition is happening.
Choose your race off of your favorite fantasy theme. Then,
And then maybe instead of this, what you could do, you can keep this. This one is a suggestion for you. It's not necessarily something that you have to do, but I think this could look really cool, right? So it's maybe the same character with the same animations, but the style of them changes. Like when you're like almost if I were to click on each one of these icons and it would like pop and change right away. So you could do that by using that switcheroo technique, right? So they're same draw, like the same animations, same body style, and the things that change are just like accessories that pop on and off. So you could have and then you would just like do this, the switcheroo, right? So instead of, we wouldn't have any keyframes on this, we would just move from one to the other. Let me change the opacity to 100 and 100. And like, let's say we wanted to do the switch from green to blue, just like that. So the layers are butt to butt, right? They're backed up, back to back. And then so what'll happen is from one frame to the next, it'll just automatically switch. 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 And that's what you could do for these little guys. I think that would be really cool. If you have time to do that. If not, I understand.
And choose a class that fits your favorite video.
I think this one actually could benefit from that. So, because you need to build, you need some space in between this sentence and the next sentence, right? So overall, everything's just way too fast.
Then choose a class that fits your favorite video game play style.
This one would be cool using that switcheroo technique instead. So what you could do is have the maybe the fawn type character standing here with like, maybe if they're a mage, a staff pops up in their hand, or and then, you know, maybe a cape on them, and then you say, you know, however, what is this, the line says,
Then choose a class that fits your favorite video game play style.
choose a class that fits your favorite video game playstyle. While that's being said, you could have it switching between the different things. So maybe like you have a druid, and maybe the druid has a different looking staff, and you know, maybe some kind of like natural looking clothing that pops on. And then you go to a rogue, and the rogue is in some kind of sleek looking gear and has like some knives and maybe some lock picking stuff. Or you have like a wizard who could have a staff with an orb on it, or a necromancer, you know, like however, whatever ones you want to show. Just pick like 3 of them that they can switch. Maybe you're like just a brute force hulking dude, and so maybe it's just like, if you're playing as like a barbarian, you get like a club pops in the hand and then changes their clothes. So I think that would be more beneficial to this section here. I would love to see that happen. But very cool idea. You can still end up with something like this and then zoom in. So some changes there for you to do a little bit more work on this, but I like the direction it's going. No, that's okay, Jose, not a problem. Here, actually, I pulled up the one link inside of, I pulled the link up inside of, from the drop, or from Discord, sorry. Words are hard. Let's watch this. Full screen it. Let me go here. Oh, I see it as a comment down here on your thing. That's okay. We'll look through here.
What is petrified wood? And how did it get there?
Oh, you guys can't hear it. Let me try and download it from there. See if that'll work. Do 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 do. All right. Cool. I think this one will work. Perfect.
What is petrified wood? And how did it get there? It started millions of years ago when a tree would fall into a river and eventually get stuck on a nearby sandbar or bank. The branches would fall off in the current, and the river would bury it in mud, sand, and volcanic ash, compressing it until the ground hardens, encasing the tree.
Cool.
Over the next 220 million years, the rich silica content in the volcanic ash would begin to crystallize and slowly replace the wood cells of the tree.
I love that.
The tree in time, oxidizing to what we see today.
That's so cool. I love the colors that you picked for it.
What is petrified wood, and how did it get there?
I think here maybe you could do a. So I see you're fading in. What is petrified wood? Maybe this looks like a wood slice at first. So maybe it's you could do, like, for example, this let me see if I can. Let's take these out of here. Let me bring this into here and kind of show you what I'm talking about. So at the beginning, let's say right here, I came in with my pen tool with the, obviously you wouldn't want to do this on the finalized video, you'd want to do it in just the one, in the scene. But maybe I create like some kind of, because I assume petrified wood, like almost like we're looking at it in a slice. Like if you were to take a tree trunk that was petrified and slice it, and you took out that slice and you were looking at it, something like that. So you could just take a mask over that scene like this. And let's see here. And then what you can do is you can create, well, let's look at, I've seen parts of petrified wood, but I guess I haven't seen a lot of it. Cool. Oh yeah, these colors are awesome. Don't you dare take that stuff from the forest, because you'll be haunted forever. I'm just kidding. I don't actually know. So let's look at this, and almost like it's sliced like this. Or like this, and maybe we could do some kind of outline around it, right? So maybe I take my pen tool and I grab one of these darker colors, and then I start kind of going around and creating a similar shape around here. Maybe not, you know, not super thick, but just kind of looking like. And what you can do, oh, come on, get out of here. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Whatever. I'll do this, and then I'll drop this layer underneath. And let's say that we wanted it to have like a rough edge, right? So we could take, roughen edges. Let's see if that will work. Roughen edges. Cool. You increase it a little bit more, and it gives it like this rough. Maybe we want the sharpness to be there because we want it to be sharp so it looks like this. I think that's really cool. And then if you have the mask, what you could do instead of drawing a mask directly on the scene like that, what I would do is I would delete that, and I would take this shape and I would duplicate it. And I would bring it up above this and then make this a Trek mat to this shape because it's going to have the roughened edges on it. And then what I would do is just scale this down slightly. So maybe this is like 90. Maybe a little bit more. 95. Right? And then it's got this like roughened edge around it. And I think that looks really cool. And then that will be like, and then you can have like a background here. Maybe of a location that you would find it in the forest. So I think though that this having like a having a more organic, like sliced look of it would be cool in the beginning. And you could even have, let's see here.
What is petrified wood?
Yeah, and then you could scale it up and fade it out. This thing, this ghosting of the...
It started millions of years ago when a tree would fall into a river and eventually get stuck on
I think the millions of years ago, let's look at it this way. So, ooh, that's cool. That's funny. It's on here. Let me go back to this. Right here. The millions of years ago, the sphere. What you could do is we can bring in a map. It's called, there's a specific name for these maps. It's like Equa something. Equa. Not equilateral. Let's see. World map. Equa rectangular. I was like, I know the word, I can't think of it. So if you look up an equa rectangular map of the world, and you can find like a PNG. Let's hope this works. And you guys all know the whole PNG thing. Let's see if this is like a legit site. Okay, let's download this. I agree to attribute. I agree as tribute. Let's extract this. Extraction. See, this is the benefit of showing up in person of class, right? Cool, we have the PNG and it works. Let's drag that into our comp here. Okay, so I've got the world map. I'm going to shut the other stuff off. And let's scale this down. And if you take an rectangular map, there is an effect in here called Spherize. And if you drop that onto here, it will turn it into a sphere. Wrong one. It's not Spherize. It is, let me see, what is it? The map and perspective CC sphere. There we go. Perfect. Did I turn my caps locks on? There we go. So CC sphere will take that PNG. Actually, let's do this first. So if I were to bring this up, so it's like this. Well, let's, come on, 65. Okay, we'll just do that. It might have a little overlap there, but let's say I put a new solid and underneath it was perfect, deep royal blue. And I drop that here, and then I pre-comp this, and then I put that sphere, the CC sphere on here, and then you have like an actual world map, which you can update the radius size if you want to. The light here, you have rotation up here, so you can rotate as you want. You can animate that rotation. There's your Y rotation. You have the light. You can change the light intensity so you get a higher light. Maybe you don't want the shadow to be so dark, so you want to diffuse. You want to, oh, I guess you can't increase the diffusion. You turn up the ambient light a little bit. You turn down the specular. You don't want a specular highlight. That's going to be like shining on a really bright, shiny surface. You can increase or decrease the roughness of that. So you can play around with this. And then if you just animate that, that Y rotation, you could have it look like millions of years pass by, right? Because I think that's kind of what you're going for here, but it's not quite
A tree would fall into a river.
not quite pulling off that way. So I think that would be really smart. And then you could do this circle transition.
And a
This
nearby
is
sandbar or bank.
this is cool. The you can almost have the tree not have the green on it when it falls, right? So like
Or when a tree would fall into a river and eventually get stuck on a nearby sandbar.
maybe putting like some branches on here, and so as it's going through the water is like breaking them off. Or instead what you could do is you could have the water needs to be moving in some way or form. So I showed you guys how to use a wave, the wave effect, not last class but the class before, I believe, or it was last Tuesday, and then I also think I touched on it in the previous week, so last week. So this past Tuesday and then last week's classes, I went over how to use like to create water. And so I would watch those and maybe put like just some waves, or just animate this waves kind of like I think you did for the same scene, like the desert scene you did with your monarch butterfly. I think that would be really neat. Here, I see the transition is still got the...
Fall off in the current.
I think the branches you could have falling off in the current. I'm not quite sure. So this one, maybe what's happening is it continues off screen, and instead of doing like this transition, which doesn't really work very well, you just do a hard cut to the next scene. So a hard cut is just when you have one layer here, it stops, it goes from here to there. That is a hard cut, right? So from this scene to that scene is a hard cut. And then as long as the branch or the tree is moving in the same direction, so like you have it here, it just moves from off screen to here, then people are going to automatically assume that that's what's happening, right? We're just moving into that. And then I think that you could have it maybe getting stuck here. And I don't like how it zooms out and goes right to black. I think that... Yeah, absolutely. And that was so quick to do that too. That it wasn't that here. What I can do is I'll drop that PNG right into Discord so you can have it. And then if you want to change the color real quick, if you want to change the color of these, the world here, all you got to do is throw a fill onto... generate fill, throw that onto that PNG, and it'll fill this color up, and then you can put it any color you want it to be. So if you wanted it to be green, it could be like this green, and then if I hit OK and then jump that out of that pre-comp, I've got that green earth, like a regular earth, right? But let me throw that into Discord chat, and you can just use that PNG to create this. And then what I would do is I would also, it's processing, it just uploaded. Inside of here, I would maybe make the comp so that it fits the PNG. So scale, maybe keep this at 65. And then what I would do is Control K to change this and change it like by maybe 1950. Even that's a little... Oh, that's about right. And then even, let's just scale this to 66 a little bit. Scale this blue. What you can do is you can, if you come over here to region of interest, this little guy right here, and you click on that, and then if you draw, oh shit, not that. Oh, sorry guys. If you draw your region of interest, so I stop right up here, and then I go up to composition, trim comp to region of interest, it will fit it to that image. And now when I go in here, it's correct. And so if I were to turn the upside down, you don't see that weird like circular thing on there. It's more appropriate, right? And so if you just do that, you'll be all set with that scene. And then this one, right here, I just, this section, I would just have those build on and cover up the forest scenes so that it's not fading into black here, because I'm seeing like a lot of ghosting happening. So there's like a layer underneath that's still showing. It's not 100% opacity. I want like 100% opacity type things, so I'm not seeing these shapes and stuff in the background. And then what you can do is you can have these layers building up still behind there. This is awesome. This looks great. This is really cool where it comes in and breaks this up. You can even add a little texture on if you have time to add some texture onto that wood. That would be cool, but very solid work. I would like this at full opacity too, so we can see the clock come in. That's a really good job animating that clock with the rotations and stuff. Great job on that. And the grass. Good job on the grass too. Looks really neat. Really good job. Really solid work for the first take. All right. Cool. Let's delete that, and we're going to went through Jose's. Let's go to Pierre's. Cool. So Pierre did his on stick bugs.
The amazing stick bug is not only a silly creature, but an impressive one too. Thanks to their ability to regenerate limbs to disguise itself in the trees, many species of plasmids have continued to survive and evolve for over 126 million years. Some stick bug species can even grow to nearly 2 feet in length. That's longer than the average human forearm.
That's awesome. I think, yeah, of course, not a problem, Aaron. No work today. I can actually watch live for once. That's actually awesome. What's up, Pierre? Sweet. I'm happy you're in the chat so I can like go over your stuff. So very cute. I love this. I think that this lends itself to simplistic rigging. And it also lends itself to the animation that you use to rig something, because they don't move very fast. They're very slow. I saw an image of a stick bug that was like this big, and it was like crawling up, and I was like, yeah, no. So pass on that. But I love the overall design of everything. Like, it's very on brand for you, Pierre. I think it's really cool. The only thing I would like to see here, because I can see that the effect that you're using is also doing that there. So you might want to pin all edges. See if you can pin all edges on whatever effect that is, and try and fix that. If it doesn't work, let me know and we can try and figure out an alternative way to deal with that with whatever effect you have. Sometimes you can use something called grow bounds. Grow bounds here under utility, which also might work. But that way we're just seeing this part, really the distortion of that moving. Overall, the audio's a little too low, so you want to turn up the VO and the music in there. Was it a big, when you went to Washington State, was it big or was it like little? Okay, like the size of my hand, if someone's like, there to take it, if it freaks out like a tarantula or something, I'll touch it. I have no problem with snakes. I have no problem with like reptiles or anything like that, which is really funny, or amphibians. But bugs, dude, bugs. I'll catch ladybugs. So I grew up out in Michigan, and out there we have lightning bugs, which I don't know if you guys don't have them out here, actually, because my wife, when she first visited Michigan, she was like, what are these things? What is lighting up in the sky? And I was like, they're lightning bugs. So I thought it was crazy. But I'll pick those up. Moths, things like that. Butterflies don't bother me. Things with that, some other things are creepy. Little spiders, not a big deal, right? Like, if they're big, though, I'm like, ugh. It's like, I don't know if you guys have seen these things. I think they're called sand spiders in Iraq and Middle East. Oh my gosh, their eyes are big. These are something that are in the Middle East. They're camel spiders. That's what they're called, camel spiders. And they are large. My brother is a retired military. He's a retired Marine. And when he did his tours in Afghanistan and Iraq, he would sleep. They had huts when he was on certain missions. And in those, they were makeshift huts, right? So they're just made of dirt. And when he'd stay in there, he would see them crawling on the walls because they would sleep. They would try and sleep in those little huts. And I was like, there would be absolutely no freaking way that I would sleep in there. But they're not very aggressive. They chase you. But what they're actually chasing is your shadow to stay cool. So interesting facts, right? That would have been a great one to do for this project. But yeah, they will chase. People think they're aggressive because they chase, but they're not chasing you as a person. They're just chasing the shadow to escape the heat, which is just an interesting fact. I thought that was cool. But yeah, pass. If I woke up in that were on my ceiling, I would literally crap the bed. Just not me. We would not be okay. Let's get back to this because this is really cute. I love the little leaf on it. Do they grow little appendages that look like leaves? Pierre?
Thanks to their ability to regenerate.
I think this part here, you could zoom in and have that guy moving in a little bit faster so we don't land on this blank scene for very long. You know, we don't really want to have that. So right here, he would have already been being introduced into the scene. Because this is...
regenerate limbs and disguise itself in the trees. These many species of plasmids have continued to survive and evolve for over 126 million years.
That's crazy. I think what I would do here is just keep letting that arm like growing out. I would just, you know how you have multiple segments here? Like maybe there you have a mask hiding the arms from this side, right? So if we did that here, let's take this, not these ones. Let's do this whole thing again. I'll take this and let's create one arm. First of all, this is the one. And then we have the other one. And then we have the other arm, right? So this is just a very rough version of what you have, like a telescopic arm thing that's coming out. And then let's parent these layers together. So this one and this one will be parented to the bottom one. This bottom one, let's move up. Obviously, I would want to have changed my... Oh, let's do this. Change the things first. Oh, wait. Wrong ones. So, undo the parenting. Let's actually just undo that. This one and this one are parented to this guy right here. And this guy, we're just going to move up here. Let's rotate him. So we don't see, obviously it's rotating wrong because of where my anchor point is, but we're just going to do this quick. Actually, let me just grab that anchor point and move it on along. There we go. And so you have like this telescopic animation happening. And let's say that one of them, so you have this one, this little guy connected to this guy. And so, or actually let's do opposite of that. So this one is the third one, this one's the second one, and this one's the first one. Have this one connected to there, this one connected to this one. So this will go like this. And maybe this one comes out first. And then this one will move out with it. You could do that. And then if it is like that and you've got this part showing outside of the body, you can just create a mask, right? So I would create another shape layer that's maybe right over here, this shape of the body of the bug. And then you can actually, so we'll just name this mask. And you can take all of these and mask them on that if you wanted to. You don't want the third one masked out because that one you still want to show. So I would just do these two and go to track matte and then select mask and invert that. So click on this little area and then it will invert that mask. I'm not sure why it's still showing. Let's see what's happening here. It's probably because yeah, just this one right here, inverted, not Luma, but just inverted mask. And then that way it won't show it all right there. And you won't have a problem of when this is growing, like this section right here. So if the arm, if you've got this all connected and it's coming out of here, you'd want to draw that mask over all the way over here so it doesn't show. And then you could push this entire thing. Like you could have this whole length of arm over this way, but it wouldn't show because there'd be like something masking it out. That's crazy. Mimic different flowers and different types of trees. That's amazing. So it's like the chameleon. It's like a chameleon of the insect realm. That's really cool. Let's go ahead and continue playing this. This looks awesome though. I love the design.
Some stick bug species can even grow to nearly 2 feet in length.
That's so cool.
That's longer than the average human forearm.
I love that. I think that you could even have like a little like line that shows up and shows the 2 feet, kind of like how Angel did with his giraffe, right? Just like a line that shows up. And you could use trim paths.
Nearly 2 feet in length. That's longer than the average human forearm.
What you could do here is kind of reverse this. So you know how you start off further out and then you zoom in? You would want to start like more zoomed in here so that we couldn't see the person or the hand. We just see the stick bug on this white thing. And you could be like,
Some stick bug species can even grow to nearly 2 feet in length.
yeah, so when you say that some can grow to nearly 2 feet in length, you have a scene where it's zoomed in, where you don't see the context of the hand and the arm. You just see the stick bug on this white thing, maybe that 2 foot, like meter or whatever, like ruler shows up that you would have animate on screen. And then when you say this line right here,
That's longer than the average human forearm.
you would zoom out to show this little character. Like that's what he's been standing on the whole time. And I think that would be a little bit more impactful.
Which human forearm?
And you're so close to that. And then here, that's really cool. I would just make sure that it's fully faded out before you put that. And then just make sure that these are lined up, right? Stick bugs and Pierre Fernandez. Maybe those are center aligned or something like that. You could do that. Perfect. Great music too with this. So some changes, but really not a lot. You really did a great job first, like on the first go around with this, so you don't have a ton of work. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. But yeah, solid stuff for the first time. Okay, Nicole Garcia. Cool. Let's do Nicole's.
Taking a picture at a low angle can be hard. A tripod is a super helpful tool to keep your images steady and clear. To use a tripod, you must spread out its legs to the height you want. Next, using the screw on top of the tripod, mount the camera using a twisting motion. Keep twisting until the camera is secure and place the tripod on an even surface.
Good start here, Nicole. So there's just a few things that I would do to strengthen this.
Taking a picture at a low angle can be hard.
I would have this be, yeah, of course, not a problem, Pierre. Really good stuff. Cool. You guys are doing some really cool stuff. I'm excited. So the first thing that I would do is I would have the outside of the camera following this. So almost like you're looking on a view, like I know you're like in the viewfinder, right? So if you're looking manually through the viewfinder on the camera, like there, maybe I'd have that viewfinder as like around this. So it looks like it is a camera and not just some weird box doing something. Or what you could do is just have the back of the like that's the screen on the back of the camera, so you could have the back of the camera there as well. I would do that so that we are aware that this is a camera that's trying to like steady itself to get a good picture.
A tripod is a super helpful.
This part here where you say the tripod is a super helpful, I wouldn't go all the way up because right now the position changes up way too high, and I would want it to start like come right here. The tripod is a super helpful
tool to keep your images steady and clear.
That's perfect right there. You could have it just pop into screen. Maybe it's even like in a little icon thing or and you don't want like this hovering action to keep happening, right? So you want it to pop into the center of the screen and stay there for a second.
Clear. To use a tripod, you must spread out its legs to the height you want.
That's good. Spreading out the legs to the height you want. You could, so before you say that, maybe what you do is the background here fades out and you have it on just a solid color like this.
To use a tripod, you must spread out its legs to the height you want.
And then you could just say, like, spreading out the legs to the height you want could be on its own.
Next. To use a tripod, you must spread out its legs to the height you want.
That's cool. I would make sure that the legs spread out a little bit more evenly because right now this one's at a different angle than this one.
Height you want. Next, using the screw on top of the tripod, mount the camera using a twisting motion.
That's cool. I think that this part...
Keep twisting until the camera is secure and place the tripod on an even surface.
That's cool. I think twisting it until it's secure, right? You want to make sure that the anchor point of the camera is where the screw would be on the tripod, right? And so that when you're rotating this camera, the anchor point stays, it's like rotating in the same spot because right now it's rotating and it's moving around at the same time and it looks kind of funny. So I would definitely do that. And then this part where you say
twisting motion. Keep twisting until the camera is secure and place the tripod on an even surface.
Like this part where I think you could swap these scenes. So this one right here could be the first part section of
the screw on top of the tripod, mount the camera using a twisting motion.
Right here, you want to say you screw on top of the thing, and then before you say mount the tripod using a twisting motion, is when you say that is when you want to bring in this part. Keep
twisting until the camera is secure and place the tripod.
And then when you say place the tripod on a steady surface, maybe is when you show it setting back down to take a photo of that truck. But I think you're almost there. It just needs some adjustments on like anchor points and just moving scenes around a little bit more. And I think you'll be good to go on that. But good start on this, Nicole. All right. Let me go to... Let's do Ivan's. Let's delete that one. Okay, Ivan's was cool.
Tamales are one of
the
oldest foods, dating back to 5000 BC in Mesoamerica. It was considered a portable and convenient food for Aztec and Mayan warriors. Despite originating in Latin America, over time, tamales have sprung up all over the world.
Love it. I love it, Ivan. Really good solid work for the first draft. There are a few things that I think you could do here to make it a little bit stronger. The first thing I'd like to do is, because your voiceover is really low, you're going to want to bring the voiceover up a bit, because it's a little bit hard to hear you. And then you could just bump up the music slightly after you've gotten the voiceover to an appropriate spot.
Tamales
I
are
love
one of
this
the
part.
oldest foods, dating back to
That's
5000
fantastic.
BC
This is
in
cool.
Mesoamerica. It was considered a portable and convenient food for Aztec and Mayan warriors.
I love this. So the only problem here is that this is blurry. So make sure that you turn on that continuously rasterized layer, which is this little guy right here. So you're going to want to turn that on, all of your pre-comps, all of your layers, all of that stuff, so that it shows up nice and crisp and it doesn't show up really blurry like this, because that blurriness, like the eye is nice and crisp on here, but the rest of it's pretty blurry, and we want that to be like, the background can be a little bit more blurred out, but the foreground, the images in the foreground and our main subject should be nice and crisp and easy to see. But I love that part. The other thing that happens here is the arm. There we go. The arm's moving up. Okay.
Despite originating
When he starts to run, his eye stays behind, so you're going to need to fix that. Because I was like, what's happening there? But his little eye
in
subject. I like that you put the motion blur on there. What I would do is I would actually swap that. So I would put the motion blur on, you've got it on the background, and I would take it off of him.
Latin America.
So he's still, looks like we're focused in on him, and we got a camera following him really fast, but the background's moving by quickly.
Tamales has sprung up all over the world.
That's perfect. I love the ending. I love the ending. No changes to that. I think that's some solid stuff there. Really good stuff on here. First, Ivan, you do want your name to fully, well, there we go. That might help if I finish playing it.
Tamales are
And then just fade the music out at the end. And I think you'll be good. All right, let's delete this one. Let's look at David's. So I'm going to play this.
Ducks' feathers are extremely waterproof even when swimming underwater. The closest feathers to their body will remain dry. Ducks are social animals who feel most at ease when they're in a large group with other ducks. Ducks are also omnivores and will eat grass, aquatic plants, insects, seeds, fruit, fish, and other types of food.
So, yeah, this was good start. I remember talking about this a couple weeks in class, but I still want to give you feedback on this now. So,
Ducks' feathers are extremely waterproof even when swimming underwater.
I think this section you could have kind of like Aaron did with theirs. They had that section of the video about petrified wood where the little part comes out and it's like magnified. I think you could do that here with the duck feathers and have like a close-up of the duck feathers at first. Yeah, not a problem, Nicole. Nicole the dragon. Either way. Oh yeah, Nicole. Yeah, Garcia. What's up? This could, I think, could benefit from that. The other thing is the water technique that I showed last Thursday's class, I believe, where you would take the duck and have it hiding behind the water so it looks like it's floating in there.
Closest feathers
And then
to their
also
body
having the duck like move and float around, right? That's another thing we need to show is the water's moving, because there's not really animation happening here. And I would like to see more animation, because overall this is like kind of laid out, but it's not really completed.
will remain dry. Ducks are social animals who feel
This is cool.
most at ease when they're in a large
I
group with other ducks.
Think that you could have the water is down, the waves are happening. Maybe they're in a different setting that doesn't just look like this, right? You need some more detail in here, because unfortunately this isn't enough detail. Maybe like they're in a park or they're on a lake or something like that, but there's like a background here, right? And
Ducks are also
this little guy, he just disappears off into nothingness, and he's the one with the most animation on him. So I'd like to see him like staying on screen.
Ducks
and
are
then
also
just moving around.
omnivores and will eat grass, aquatic plants, insects, seeds, fruit, fish, and other types of.
And then this one, you could have little icons, like I said, popping up of the different types of things that the duck eats. So maybe the duck is in the center of the grass here, and you pop up these little icons with these different types of food, and maybe there's little animations happening within there. I remember talking about that, like, very similar to what happened in this one. In this section right here is what I'd like to see with your duck, with the duck video. I think that would be strong, and I think that it would make this look a little bit more pulled together, you know, because we want to have more animation. There's just not enough animation happening here. But good start to begin with, and I'd be excited to see it when it's all finished up. Let's go to Lola's. Having trouble with the voiceover audio working on After Effects. I will fix it by tomorrow. Get it in Wednesday. Okay, let me see if this one's the right one. Alright, cool. Let me do this one. Let's look at this one, because this is the most recent version you sent in. Oh, so cute.
The sloth is one of the Earth's slowest animals.
Ah, so cool.
They are mainly native to Amazons within South America. Sloths are natural herbivores, meaning they require no meat within their diet, and also can sleep up to 20 hours a day.
Oh, we all wish. This is great. I love it. I love it, Lola. This is awesome. So just a couple things I think that you could update on here, but I think you did a majority of the work and really worked hard on kind of building this neat environment that shows a bunch of different vegetation that might be more native to where they stay down in South America, right? Because we all know that if it's a jungle creature, it needs to be in a jungle. There needs to be a lot of vegetation and like stuff around it, right?
The sloth is one of the Earth's slowest animals.
I love this. It should be moving slow, right? So that's great that you actually have
They
it
are
moving
mainly
slow.
native to Amazons within South America.
I see how he's following like the path here. What we could do is figure out how to get his little arm behind the thing, like he's holding onto it, so we could thicken that up. So I would take off the drop shadow on him and maybe just having him move down. Let's see how we could do this. So you have, let's delete this. Let's just kind of start over here. So let's say you have your sloth arm that looks like this. Right. You got your little sloth arm. And let's change where this anchor point is. And he's also got a little sloth leggies that are over here. Little sloth leggies, right? His little feetsy weetsies. Ah, his little sloth feetsy weetsies. Oh, his little sloth feetsy weetsies. I don't know. I'm feeling weird today. Okay, so we got our sloth legs and arms, right? And then you had the then you had this vine that he was climbing down. So let's kind of do that. So it's very much nice and curved. Let's make it a little bit thicker here. Following that kind of curve. Obviously, you would want to take more time. But you have the problem of, so let's say that the path, let's move this over here. And you need this arm. Let me change the vine arms. And this is just going to take what I like to call strategic masking, right? So we have to specifically put a mask in a certain spot to strategically make it look like one's behind the other. And what I'm going to do, these are wrong. Actually, this is the arms and this is the vine. And I want to just make the vine a little bit thinner. That way's fine. This way. That works. And then let me move the anchor point right here. V, move that back over here. Okay. And so we need this to look like maybe it's over top of it. How did you have yours? Okay, yeah. And so like you want to mask out the upper arm. So what I would do here, right, is I have my vine drawn and then I'm going to create a path that the animation can happen along. So maybe this is that animation path, right? Obviously, I'd be much more tedious with this if it were my project. Let me grab this section right here. Oop. Dang, my little fingies. Okay, let's go down to the path. Contents, shape, path. Select the path. Let me move this section over just a little bit. Okay, and then I want to grab the entire path and I'm going to copy it, right? So Control C. And then I want the arms, which will, I'll just move the right here so it kind of follows along the path appropriately. So I'm going to get the position right there. And I'm going to bring my playhead all the way to the beginning. And I'm going to copy that, right? Paste it. So it goes along that. And then we want to make this not visible so I don't see it. And so this is kind of following along the, not 100%. Let's see that path again. You know, I would obviously take more time with that. But what I would do here, in order to kind of mask out that section, is I would just take like a little mask. I would take this. And I would hope that the vine, actually the vine, let's make that all one thickness, right? Because I think that's going to be the most beneficial thing here. So let's delete this real quick. Actually, what we could do is just use this as the vine, and instead of having a fill, give it a stroke. There, right? A green stroke, and just change the thickness of the stroke width. So we've got a nice thick shape there, and then the arm will follow along that, right? It will follow along that perfectly. And I want to bring this up above, and then what I want to do is I'm going to create a new shape, and maybe this one I do not want actually a stroke, I want a solid. Let's do this. And what I want to do is here, and I'm going to mask out. I'm going to create a little shape that covers up that part of the arm. And I'm going to go to position, and I'm going to first of all center the anchor point on that one. So Control, double click here, and then I'm going to paste that path. Oh, making sure that I do it. It has to start up there, I guess right here, and then I'd move this all the way back to where it matches up right there. And then I would name this mask. And then I would have the arm mask out there, invert it like that. So then this little section is like this. You might have to animate some rotations in there, or you might want to make it a little bigger than the actual arm is so we don't see this kind of stuff. You might have to animate path. animations there, but it'll kind of give this view that it's like sliding down. Or what you could do is, so that's one option. The other option that you could actually, what I would do with this thing is then orient it along the path, right? So, let's see. I forgot where that was, and I forgot last time too. So layer, composition. Where is it? Right click. Transform, auto orient. Orient along path. And then we got to turn it. To be the appropriate rotation. And then it should follow along it pretty good. You might have to do some clever work with maybe the little arm and adding a couple other keyframes in there, but I think you could fix it that way. And I think that would be a really good idea for this. That way he doesn't look like he's kind of hanging off, because I know what you're going for there, and I think you're very close.
Sloths are natural herbivores, meaning they require no meat within their diet.
This is cute. I think the sun in the background could not be moving. Like, you don't have to have it moving like this. Like, so maybe the sun is setting, right? So that it looks like it's going into nighttime, because this scene is
Also
awfully
can
cute.
sleep
I
up
love
to
this
20
scene.
hours a day.
That's great. Really, really, really good start on here.
The sloth is one of the
Really good work. Why are you not working? There we go. Let me go to... Oh, my phone's getting blown up. I'm sorry. Alright, let's delete that. And who is next? Annika. Let's look at this.
Cats are cute household pets that come in varying colors and fur types. When they are comfortable with humans, cats purr in delight. They also have bumpy tongues for cleaning themselves. Cats are cute.
Really good, really solid work and good start on this, Annika. I think that there's a couple things that you could do right off the bat. I think that the music is a little bit loud, so you want to drop that down a little bit, because especially at the end, it's like boom and it hits really hard. So I would definitely update that and drop the decibel levels a little bit. I love this cat and his little patterns. That's really cute. I think the first time, I think overall it's a little fast, so you might want to add some...
Cats are cute household pets that come in varying colors and fur types. When they are comfortable with humans, cats purr in delight. They also have bumpy tongues.
I don't know. This is pretty good. The timing of it actually works.
Cats are cute household pets that come in varying colors and fur types. When they are...
I think this scene you could have up for just like a hair longer, and then you should add eye blinks to the cats, which you can see on how to... Where is that one? Do I still have it up here? I do. This one right here. Creating the eye blinks. This one will be a good one for you. So I would watch that on how to do the eye blinks for the cats. because I think that eye blinks would be cool. I think that their whisker, that you can have a little bit of whisker movement too.
Varying colors and fur types.
But I like this.
When they are comfortable with humans, cats purr in delight. They also have bumpy tongues for
This scene is really fun.
themselves. Cats are cute.
Yeah, I think that overall this is really good. This end scene right here needs to be up longer. So I'd have it up like a few seconds longer here at the end, and then fade out
Cats
the
are
music.
cute.
So really mostly is updating the music and then a few little animation things here and there. But yeah, this was really cute. And I think the whiskers animating would be solid for your or for this too. So I would absolutely add the whisker animations. Isaac, you were supposed to be up next, but I think yours, again, I don't know what's going on with your renders, my dude, but they're not working because After Effects wouldn't accept it here. Let me delete these. And when I go to play it here, it won't play. It's not going to play. It's going to error out. And then this right here is really, like, here's the big giveaway too, that it's like too small. Something's going on. So Isaac, if you want to sync up with me, dude, and then we can try and figure out what's going on. Just write me in Discord or on Canvas and we'll try and get that fixed for you. All right, let me go to, ooh, okay, that's fine. All right, Nicholas. Still click on this. Cool.
Great white sharks are known for their powerful jaws and sleek bodies. They are apex predators and can have up to 300 teeth. Despite their intimidating looks, they are an essential part of the marine life ecosystem.
Cool. Your cousin wanted to be a part of it. I think that's awesome.
Are known for their powerful jaws.
Great start on
bodies.
this.
They are apex predators.
Nicholas,
and can have up to 3.
Let's go through and talk a little bit about this. So here, I think that what could be beneficial, I like this part, but when you're talking about the jaw, I think that you could have the jaw moving in some way, shape, or form. I think that would be cool. I also think that the shark, because sharks don't actually, they don't stay still ever. In fact, what do I want to say? Porpoises do the same thing. Whales do the same thing. And when they go to sleep, they, because if you ever wondered how fish sleep, because they do sleep. Same with sharks and any kind of marine life when it comes to these guys. When it's something that has to constantly be in motion in order to breathe, right? So like sharks, fish, whales, porpoises, things like that. They have to have, specifically sharks and fish have to have water moving through their gills. And if, in order to breathe, right? So if they stop moving, they will die. And so what they do is they shut off half of their brain. They turn half their brain off and kind of go into like an autopilot mode where they swim. Like, it just keeps them swimming, right? And so I think that this being still right here doesn't make sense. I think that you should have the shark moving past these things. So maybe this scene is much longer. And I'd like to see, maybe you could show some animated bubbles in the background or the seaweed is animating. But either way, I think there needs to be more motion in here. So really what I would do is I would have the shark for sure moving across the screen. Or what you could do is animate the background layer moving. across, which would also give the illusion that the shark is moving. And that way you don't have to change these animations right here. And the jaw, right? Because I think that...
They are apex predators and can have up to 300 teeth.
This one's cool. I think you could start off like zoomed in and then maybe scale out to show the whole thing, like apex predators, and have like a bunch of teeth, right? So because they have multiple layers of teeth here.
Apex predators and can have up to 300 teeth.
I think you can make this section maybe a little bit bigger with these things. And then there's what's happening here. So the maybe these radial waves are just a little bit bigger. I think that would be
up to
cool.
300 teeth. Despite their intimidating looks, they're an essential part of a marine life ecosystem.
I think this one should just be sped up, right? So all of this should happen while your voiceover is occurring. And this, in fact, you've gotten all this.
Looks, they're an essential part of a marine life ecosystem.
So when you're done saying marine life ecosystem, everything should be on screen, right? And then you've got this all animated. I would offset these, the seaweed, so they look like they're moving at different times. I think that would be cool. And then the same with the little fish here. And then what you could be doing is you could be having the fish move and mask them out of the shape there. I think you're very, very close, but not quite 100% there yet. But with just a little work over the weekend, I think you'll be there. So really, really good, solid start on that. Let's go to... Let me delete that. Let me delete this. Remove that PNG. Gavin's. All right.
Rubber ducks have an interesting backstory dating back to the 1800s. When Charles Goodyear invented a way of making malleable rubber, numerous designs for bath-time rubber ducks began patenting in the 1930s. Sculptor Peter Gamine's iconic 1947 rubber duck design is what really launched them into popularity, making them a staple in bath toys today.
Gavin, this is some great stuff. Fantastic start on this.
Rubber ducks have an interesting backstory dating back to the 1800s.
I love the design of your little rubber ducky. I think that's really cool. And I think that you've done so much work in the beginning that there's very minimal work. Like a few of you guys have done that so far. Put in a lot of the work in the beginning, and now you're going to have less work to do towards the end of class here. And there's very minimal suggestions I have for you on this because it is it's done really well. I love the waves here. I love how you've got like the sine wave happening where most of the waving is occurring here.
Interesting backstory dating back to the 1800s.
The animation on the duck is
when Charles
great.
Goodyear invented a way of making malleable rubber, numerous designs for bath-time rubber.
I think this part where you say numerous design for bath-time rubber duckies
in the 1930s.
You could have maybe a few different rubber ducky designs pop up on stage. So, rubber ducky designs original. Let's look at some like, because there's like all sorts of rubber duck designs. And maybe they're not 100% accurate to the original one that you might see, but maybe you do something like this, right? Like there's a few different rubber duckies that pop up on screen. Look at this dude, the Death Rocker rubber ducky. I feel like that is something that I would get one of my friends. That's hilarious. I love it. But yeah, just having like a few alternate rubber duckies pop up before you bring in the flags, because there's this section here where it's just nothing. And I think that after that goes off scene, because that's not, I mean, this looks cool. The design is cool, but it doesn't look, I mean, if you didn't say rubber, I would think it was like a slab of ice or something. But then this other section here, there's like, let's see, almost a full second and a half where nothing's happening on screen, and I think you could just fill that in. Other than that, this guy is so cool.
What really launched them into popularity, making them a staple in bath toys today.
Fantastic. I really think that's all I would do. Really good, solid work there. I think that was fun. this is a fun one. I've never had anyone do rubber duckies, and I think that was like a cool choice. Let's see here. All right, Dakota. Let's go to yours.
Recycling starts with a simple step: sorting your waste into the recycling bin. Recycling trucks collect bins from homes and businesses, gathering recyclables for processing. Recycling isn't just about waste, it's a cycle of sustainability. By separating materials and giving them new life, we contribute to a healthier planet.
I love that. I think that this was a great written...
Recycling starts with a simple step: sorting your waste into the recycling.
It's a really well written script. I'd probably turn the music down a notch.
Recycling starts with a simple step: sorting your waste into the recycling bin. Recycling trucks collect bins from...
That's cool. I think that when you say... hold on, let me take my hair's getting in my eyes. This part right here, when you say...
It starts with a simple step: sorting your waste into the recycling.
When you say sorting your waste into the recycling bin, I think you could have like some different types of waste popping up and going into the bin there. I think that would be cool.
Recycling bin. Recycling trucks collect bins from homes and businesses, gathering recyclables for processing.
That's cool.
Recycling isn't just about waste, it's a cycle of sustainability. By separating materials and giving them new life, we contribute to a healthier planet.
I like that one. I think the only thing that I would add here is like a background, like something like maybe a star field or something in the background, or just like a blue gradient or something that, you know, is space and not just black. And I think that that would be cool for this one. And I think the green color right here doesn't necessarily lend itself. I know because of the green recycling. Maybe what I would do is make it a lighter color or different. I would try and find a way to make this green stand out a little bit more. Maybe you have like an outline around it might help too, just to kind of differentiate from the background. And then also to like, because this here, this paper, I'm not sure what this is. I would maybe pick a different, if this is paper, I would pick a different icon if you can, or illustrate it, because this just looks like a picture of texture and not, it doesn't really fit with the rest of it. So I would also like update this icon and then make it so it stands out against the screen a little bit more. And if you do that, then I'll be able to see this thing a little bit more. And then if you just put an outline around that, that would be good too. So this one, this last scene probably needs the most work as far as illustration goes. This one would be cool. And also this is off center. So you definitely want to make sure everything is centered. All of your scenes, especially because they're very circular and, just like symmetrical and stuff. So you want to have them centered in there. Also, this thing, what you can do here is take this off and then just put that in the description of your video when you post it on YouTube or Vimeo or something like that. So that's what I would do with that. But really good start on that, Dakota. I'm happy that the script for that went really well. All right, we've got Koji. Koji, cool color right off the bat.
The common stingray species
Ooh.
has an average length of 8.2 feet. They are commonly found in shallow coastal waters of temperate seas.
I love
the
that.
diet consists of clams
background
and worms.
Cool. Good start on this, Koji. I think there's a couple things that could strengthen it. Let's see here.
Stingray species has an average length of 8.2 feet.
This is good. This is fine. What I would do is keep this, like spread this out a little bit more so there's not just this open space here. Or what you could do is you could draw this at a different angle. So like it's, like we're looking at it from a side view. I think that would be cool there.
They are commonly found in shallow coastal waters of temperate seas.
I think this is a cool idea. I feel like it's not really meshing together very well because this map, I would either do the map or I would do this scene right here. So I would pick one. And then with this water, is there a way for you to animate that? So let's see here. If we can get, if we can emulate that in some sort of way. Let's do this. Let's see here. If we create a new composition, let's go into our example comp and let's shut these off or delete them. And let's try and recreate something like that. Let's try a grid. Hold on one second. Oh, okay. My wife is home. I was like, someone's stealing a package. I gotta go. I'll be right back. That's not what it was. So let's see if we can let's try it with a grid first. Let's go to grid. And see if we can generate a grid and do something weird with that. So, new, solid. Okay, we'll do this deep royal blue. Let's zoom in. I might have to look up how to get something like this to, instead of you having to manually draw it, right? There's a ways that you can procedurally create things. And we don't want it this color. Let's change this grid to, what color was it before? Like the sandy brown, right? And let's increase the grid size. So corner point, anchor. Let's make it bigger, right? So you have to increase the anchor size to make it bigger. Let's add a turbulent. Let's see if it works this way. Turbulent displace. It does. Cool. So let's increase the amount here. Maybe increase it like this. And start messing around with different settings here. So maybe the border is a little thicker. Maybe we change the blending mode to screen, or overlay, or lighten color. Add. Let's just try messing around with these. Difference. Exclude. Exclusion looks good. And then maybe we increase the complexity a bit, maybe 1.5 there. And then if you increase the size, you're going to get less. So maybe something like that. Increase the amount a little bit so it looks less like a grid. Maybe we mess around with the offset settings. And then you would alt-click this and you'd time times 20, not very long, right? So it'd kind of create something like this. Maybe we add like a glow to it. Yeah, let me see a little bit more about this and not necessarily take a bunch of time trying to figure this. I feel like there's probably some kind of way we can get that formation of this water background and have it procedurally move for you so you don't have to like hand animate anything. And I think that would be really cool if you decide to go that route. And if not, you can always go this route here with just the map on screen because this is just a little too jumbled.
The diet consists of clams.
And then I would have like here, I would have this move up much like, so you guys don't want to have blank frames, right? We want to have stuff up here. So maybe the diet of
clams.
Instead of having this, maybe it's a full scene of it on the water finding clams and finding worms and like sucking them up because their little mouths are underneath. And then you'd have some like seagrass and some stuff like that it could look up, because this is cool, but I think it would be stronger if it were like an entire scene, a completed scene here. But very good start, and I think you're on track to getting something really neat. Let me go to the next one. All right. Okay.
In the current day and age, robots are incredibly complex and intelligent.
This is
But how did it
very
all
loud.
begin? According to computer scientist Eric Roberts, the first concept of a robotic mechanism exists as early as 3000 BC, where Egyptians created figurines in their clocks with an hourly alarm.
Cool.
However, robots were formally created in the 1950s, with the earliest known robot at the time, named Unimate, having been worked into an industrial robot over the decade.
Oh, I love it. So cool, Logan. That's great. That is a great looking running cycle here. First of all, it's very loud. So that is the first thing I would address, right? Is dropping the VO, dropping the music down as well, because everything, I had to turn the audio down on here. So you definitely want to check that at first. Let's rewatch it and then let's move through.
In the current day and age, robots are
I love that. I think that's cool.
robots are incredibly complex and intelligent. But how did it all begin?
I think this little guy can be a little smaller so the circles don't touch on the edge, right? So I would just make this smaller because these are really
How
cool.
did it all begin?
This is very complex, like rigging work and run cycle. You did a really good job.
Computer scientist Eric Roberts, the first concept
I
of a
love
robotic
this.
mechanism exists as early as
I think that you could have this moving up a little bit faster in the beginning so that we don't see the sun here for such a long time.
According to computer
Like it's
scientist
already
Eric
moving up
Roberts,
and it's already up
the
in the
first
scene.
concept of a robotic mechanism exists as early as 3000 BC.
This is great. Fantastic, like very smart effects and stuff that you're putting on here to create kind of like this heat wave effect. It looks super cool.
Where Egyptians created figurines.
And I love this, how it like pulls into that. So just kind of like this continued motion that you have of the scenes really lends itself to the animation, right? That continual flow of direction in a video can help to just add things to it. And I think this is great because it makes it look like we're almost going into the pyramid.
In their clocks with an hourly alarm.
That's so
However,
cool.
Robots were formally created in the 1950s.
I think you could have this show up a little bit faster and less like a slower, like it's a really slow transition, and I think it needs to be a faster
The earliest
transition.
known robot at the time,
This is cool though.
Unimate, having been worked into an industrial robot over the decade.
I love it. Really solid work, like with all the character animation in there. I'm assuming you watched the Duick Angela and how to use that rigging, and it paid off because he's like running away with a robot. The robot's got a robot and he's running away with it, which is really funny to me. But it's really creative and done well and very smooth. In fact, you could have this stuff moving past him quickly, so it actually makes him look like he's moving, right? So that's what you want to do when you create animated like run cycles and stuff, is you'll create the run cycle and you're not going to move the character from one side of the scene to the other. You move the background and it gives the illusion that the character is moving. So if you do that, I think that would just be fantastic. But really great start on this this animation here. Really cool stuff. A lot of work put into it, especially with those run cycles and the animation of like you've got multiple characters in there. Really, really cool. All right, let's jump to Ephraim's.
When thinking about the allies of the Second World War, who comes to mind? The United States, Great Britain, Russia?
Love it.
One you might not expect is Mexico.
I know we went over this, but this looks great. Motion blur added. Nice.
This squadron was known as Escuadrón 201, or by the better title,
I love it.
The Aztec Eagles flew Operation Pacific Theater in the Philippines.
The changes look great.
The country from Japanese control, and they were credited with taking out 30,000 Japanese combatants.
Yeah, Ephraim, that was awesome. You did a great job
Thinking about the allies of the
on
Second
this.
World War, who comes to mind? The United States, Great Britain,
You made the changes that I suggested and you got it done right away and you're all set to go and to really be working on your final. So really good stuff on there, Ephraim. Impressive. I love that one. I thought that was really cool. All right, and then our final one for the night. We have James. And then we're going to probably, I'm going to cut it short. We're going to go over all of the reels on Tuesday's class.
Koalas are the cute marsupials found in the great country of Australia. They're mainly found in the eastern parts of the country. Their diet, strangely enough, consists of a good...
I don't know what's happening there.
Koalas are the cute marsupials found in the great country of Australia.
Love it.
They're mainly found in the eastern parts of the country. Their diet, strangely enough, consists of a good supply of poisonous eucalyptus leaves.
All right, good start on here, James. Let's go through and break this down. And
Koalas are the cute marsupials found in the great country of Australia.
I think right away, this color behind him, it like washes him out because they're almost a similar saturation. And so I would change the background, either make it darker or brighter. The other thing that is something I'm seeing is that at the bottom here, your other scene is showing. So make sure that your solid later in the background is the size of the entire composition. Let's go back here.
Koalas are the cute marsupials found in the great country of Australia. They're mainly found in the eastern parts of the country. Their diet...
I think that you could have a little space in between this sentence and this one about their diet, where they're found in their diet. And then you could pop it up in separate areas of where in Australia, kind of like the icon scene, right? So that you have like multiple little koalas. And then some kind of background here. So water, even little waves you could put in here, I think would look cool. But this just looks kind of bland. And so I think that doing something other than black and white would be smart here.
Their diet, strangely enough, consists of a good supply of poisonous eucalyptus leaves.
This little guy moving back and forth, I'm not sure how I feel about it. Maybe maybe you scale him up a little bit so his little legs aren't really showing, and you can show him back and forth, but you want to show him like interacting with the tree in some way. Maybe grabbing and snapping off one of those. You could have him moving in like this, right? But then maybe he moves in, he grabs the leaf and he eats it. Instead of just having him kind of hovering back and forth. And then maybe having some of this foliage look less blurred and a little bit more in focus, and having a little bit of it move in some ways. So Lola had her foliage in the background just slightly moving a little bit, and that just adds to the animation, because that way it's not just this little guy and he stands out a little bit too much. Like there's just something that's not clicking in this scene, and I would think that it has to do with the blurring of the background. Doesn't quite look like it fits. And you can, if you just have some of those moving, if they're separate, you can just create separate ones, like just a few separate ones that are similar colors, and you could just animate those going back and forth, and then just have this little guy, maybe make him bigger in the scene, make this bigger in the scene so that it shows him moving up to it. Maybe he grabs one of those leaves down and he like puts it towards his mouth, or just he holds it, right? Like he's gonna eat it.
Eucalyptus leaves.
But it's a good start here. And then maybe a different transition to this part here. And then your name, I would put this font in something that's less handwritten. maybe keep it with the same font of everything else here. But good stuff. Really good start on that. Great work, you guys. A lot of you put a lot of effort in, especially with how quickly this semester kind of came and went, and we have spring break kind of throws a loop into everything. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is, let's see here. We got some freezing happening. I'm going to cut the live stream a little short today and let you guys go ahead and make these changes on these. And then on Tuesday's class, I'm going to go over your guys' reels. I only have a couple of them turned in right now. I might give feedback on that over the weekend. And so that those students can start working on that feedback for that. But so now it's really going to be catching up on any kind of, like this weekend, you really want to catch up on any feedback for all of your projects. Make sure all of your projects have the feedback implemented. If you haven't started on your reel, you definitely want to get started on your reel, because the biggest thing is that the reel cannot be turned in late. There are no exceptions for that. So really sticking to that deadline. You guys have to, or else you guys don't get credit for the final reel. What's up, Gavin? You just got on a break from work? What's going on? Gavin, I went over yours, which was fantastic. It was about the rubber duckies. And you did some great work on that. I gave you feedback in this class. Oh, sorry, let me do this real quick. Let me shut down. I think it's this one. You gonna shut down for me? There we go. Gavin, I gave you feedback on yours. Yours was fantastic. The little rubber ducky one. Really cool. So if you just if you scroll back a little bit in the live stream later, and you'll see yours, you'll just rewind to the beginning of that, and then you can watch the feedback that I gave you on yours. But really cool stuff. It made me smile for sure. But yeah, so making sure this weekend you're getting all of those changes implemented into your custom 3 scene and any of your other projects that you need to. I've caught up on anyone who has turned their late work in that was due by the 30th. So there's unfortunately no longer availability to turn late work in. Work has to just be turned in at that point. You know, you just get the grade you got. So definitely implement that feedback. Start on that reel. Tuesday's class, we're going to go over everyone's reel that is turned in and give you feedback for those. And you can make those changes for Thursday's class. And Thursday will be our last class where we actually go over the reels and we view them for the last time. No critiques, no feedback or nothing like that. We just watch each other's work. So all right, you guys, enjoy your weekend. Definitely now is the time to write me if you haven't written me. And so write me in Discord or in, Canvas if you guys have any questions. But enjoy your weekend. Hope you get your stuff done quickly. And I'll see you guys later. Adios.